And we're back with another episode of Lakers Latest. I'm Gerald Glassford, the host of the Lakers Latest podcast, part of the Fan Arc Network. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below so you can be notified when the latest Lakers Latest comes right to you on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, please go ahead and make sure you go and stop over on my friends, the Fan Arc Network's big YouTube channel, because after you're done here today with me, you can go ahead and check out all the great shows that they have there by typing in on a YouTube search Fan Arc. It comes right up, and boom, there you are. You can check out all the great stuff that they have there because with the NBA, NHL playoffs, like for instance, my Golden Knights, who got the overtime victory on Monday, Major League Baseball, the Dodgers winning again, and of course, what went on with the NFL draft. There's a lot of things to talk about right there at the Fan Arc Network. So go ahead and check it out as well. And audio podcast listeners, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please hit that follow button. Make sure you like the shows and give me that 5-star review as well. It is sincerely appreciated if you do. Well, the aftermath of Game 4. Wanted to run that down for you guys because yeah, much to discuss on that as far as it concerns. So, okay, I'm just creating the scenario here for you guys. It was about a minute and 11 left. A play underneath seemed kind of harmless. Ball went out of bounds. Fire underneath the board between Aaron Holiday and Adu Thiero. Didn't seem like much. I guess they said some words to each other. They both said in kind of passing. They weren't really going at each other's face a whole lot. They just kind of said it in kind of passing. Both got the T and both got an ejection without getting a second technical. So that started everything off. So I'll start from there. Dave McMenamin put out a full report on it on Twitter. He said the officials called 5 more technical fouls from there. 3 on the Lakers with Jackson Hayes, Maxi Kleber, and Adu Thiero, and 2 on the Rockets with Josh Okogie and Aaron Holiday. Thiero, the Lakers rookie, and Holiday both received 1 tech ejections, with 1:11 remaining in the fourth quarter for jawing at one another. They didn't even have a chance to really have. They must have been doing it for a while because they really didn't have much to say, or in the time that they said it before they were both ejected, or James Williams just had a short fuse and just said, I'm done with you guys. Boom, you're gone. That was uncalled for and it made no sense, LeBron James said. That's the first time I think ever that he has been, meaning Adu Thiero, thrown out of a game in his life. I don't think that was warranted. In the locker room after the game, Lakers star Luka Doncic told Thiero he would pay for whatever fine the NBA will charge him for the infraction. That's really cool, Luka, to do. I didn't see any listed extra fines for him. So whatever uh, charge it is, I think 500, 250, 500, $1,000, just whatever charge that they do for a technical or an ejection, that's what he got. But no additional fine was levied on Adu Thiero. After the final buzzer, the trash talk continued. Yes, it did. Between both teams at center court because they all came together and they started talking some smack. Several Lakers players told ESPN that the Rockets forward Deshaun Tate was taunting their team. I don't know why. His team is down 3-1. Not that smart. You did win on game 4, but while you're talking smack to the team that you're down to 3-1, that's kind of baffling to me, but okay. He was using curse words to name call and invited the 6'10", 240-pound Kleber to fight him. So tell me down below if Deshaun Tate and Maxi Kleber were able to go ahead and fight, get in the octagon per se, who would get the best of that one. And Kleber does outweigh and outsize Deshaun Tate, I do believe. So I'll let your imagination run wild on that. But Marcus Smart added in, hilarious, when asked about the back and forth. Very hilarious. Well, he wouldn't think it was so funny the next day because when the NBA reviewed all the tapes, reviewed all the comments that were made, and what was said and done about the game and the officials, Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard were fined uh, as far as is concerned. Lakers guard Marcus Smart has been fined $35,000 for questioning the integrity of the game officials. What a shock there. Okay, actually, it isn't. Now, this is a surprise here. Lakers guard Luke Kennard has been fined $25,000 for directing inappropriate language toward game officials. Now, that one kind of caught me off guard because I didn't know Luke Kennard. It's kind of soft spoken, mild mannered a little bit, but hey, you know what? He's running his mouth. So what might happen? So yeah, it was announced by Basketball Operations Executive VP James Jones of the NBA. So there you have it. Marcus Smart was fined $35,000, so he wasn't laughing the next day because his, you know, wallet was a little bit lighter on Monday, and same thing for Luke Kennard. Do you think this is going to give motivation, what Jashawn Tate said and what happened as far as subsequent fines for Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard? Do you think this will give them even more motivation to finish off Houston on Wednesday? Let me know in the comments below. Would love to hear from you on that. So, yeah, absolutely. Would love to hear you on that indeed. But with that said and done, we get closer and closer to the Wednesday game between the two for game 5, but we've got other playoffs in mind, so we wanted to go ahead and talk about that before we get to your comments. OKC finished the sweep of Phoenix. Surprise, surprise. Okay, it wasn't much of a surprise, but yeah, OKC showed that even when it's not playing good defense, it can outscore you as they get the victory in Phoenix for a sweep. Later on Monday, I think it was the second to last game on Monday. It was the second of 3 games, 131 to 122. SGA, they didn't make a concerted effort to try and throw doubles at him as much as I thought they would, or try to deny him the ball. They just tried one-on-one a lot with Dylan the Villain, and Dylan got villained, is what I'll say with that. SGA torched him and guys like Jalen Green, Devin Booker, yeah, torched them all for 31 on Monday. And Chet Holmgren chipped in with 24, and AJ Mitchell chipped in with 22. And yeah, absolutely just they led all the way, and they just look like they're a team that's ready to move on to the second round, and they did with the sweep 4-0 right there for you. And also on Monday, in the late game, it was Denver, not surprisingly, getting the victory, obviously facing elimination, but against a team that lost both DiVincenzo for the season with that torn Achilles tendon, and for weeks, multiple weeks, with Anthony Edwards with that bone bruise and hyperextension of the knee. It was going to be hard for them to sustain that type, Minnesota, to sustain that type of emotional level of play that they did in Minnesota in game 4. So they went out, and it wasn't really as close as the score indicates, 125 to 113. Denver with the victory, and now heads back to Minnesota for game 6. That's the game Minnesota has to win. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but if they're going to win one of those next 2 games, it's got to be in Minnesota and have that kind of emotional lift. I'm not expecting Ayo Dosunmu, who's moved in the starting lineup, to get another 40-plus point game, but Julius Randle has got to show up big. He got 27, but they need a team effort. And Gobert needs to have another wonderful defensive effort like he's had for most of the series. Didn't have it on Monday's game as Jokic went to town. But if they can still hold Jamal Murray to a 9 of 23 game like they did on Monday, but slow everybody else down, the Spencer Jones and the Cam Johnsons of the world cannot shoot efficiently like they did on Monday, they have a chance to pull off the upset. But it's not a great chance. Otherwise, I see this going 7 and Denver's still moving on. But if you have thoughts on that, let me know down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But also as well, the biggest upset of the day was Orlando getting the victory against Detroit, 94 to 88. Absolutely 90 style ugly type game. especially if you were watching Jalen Suggs shoot. I love the kid as a defender, but yeah, as a guy trying to make shots, he is not reliable at this stage of his career, shooting 1 of 13 and 111. But they still won. Orlando still won. Uh, Detroit looked like the team that was stuck in the mud with their offense. Cade Cunningham got 25 and 9, but really inefficient. Tobias Harris threw 20 in there, but yeah, they got pretty much nothing, not much else from the rest of the team. Orlando, they had at least Franz Wagner before he got injured was doing well early with 19. Paulo Banchero was not great at all, 4 of 18. See, it's those days that Detroit's really going to kick themselves when Paulo Banchero, who is arguably the Orlando's best player, shooting 4 of 18 and 0 4 from 3. But yeah, Orlando got it done. They now lead the series 3-1. I still think that this series is also going to go ahead and come down to 7 games, but the next game is going to be in Detroit. So if you have thoughts on the Monday games, please let me know below. Would love to hear from you. But before we head on out, it is, of course, comment time. Love to hear your comments each and every time out. Wanted to go ahead and give a big shout out to our commenters, and that starts off with Roger. What's going on, my man? He said, "What a terrible ejection." I'm thinking, pick one. They were all terrible, Roger. Even if you're a Houston fan, the Aaron Holiday ejection was really bad as well. But the egregious ejections of Adu Thiero and also as well DeAndre Ayton, that was not a flagrant 2 by any stretch. But okay, whatever. Even Caleb Ponce, who covers the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I spoke with in an interview on my other channel early on Monday, excuse me. Yeah, he even said it wasn't a flagrant 2, whatnot. So yeah, again, just absolutely just terrible ejections. You're right on that, Roger, 100%. All of them that were in that game. Edie Bauman says expected loss, nothing tragic, but 24 turnovers. That's something to think about. 44 turnovers total in Houston. Just let me go ahead and say that again. 44 turnovers in Houston. The Lakers committed 20 on one day, 24 on the other. That has to be cleaned up, especially on Wednesday, so they can get the victory. And I'll just leave it there. Rockets defense was way better. That was out of desperation, Edie. They looked a lot better because they played harder. The Lakers looked soft. The Lakers looked timid. The Lakers looked tired, and they did not look like they had the focus. The Rockets defense was playing like they wanted to stay in the season, like they wanted to stay playing in the playoffs. So you got to give them credit for that as far as their effort is concerned on the Rockets defense. Most of the time they double LeBron or others. The refs are not to be mentioned. They're a disgrace. Yes, Edie, they were bad, but I got to mention them here on the show. So next game is game over. Yes, I think I think the Lakers have got to send a message, and they got to do it as fast as possible because they've got OKC already resting, waiting for the Lakers. So they've got to finish them off as fast as possible. My man Craig, he said, keep the turnovers down. Can't win with this amount of turnovers. You are right. Against OKC, they won't. Not even with 20. Too much time in Houston. Sleepy Lakers referees have to use better judgment. It's not about you. That's correct. It isn't about just what. It's about the team. Game 4 was a letdown by the players. Yes, as I mentioned with Edie. Yeah, absolutely, indeed. Celtics look like the favorites in the East if they keep the threes going. You live by the 3, you die by the 3. Get them off the 3, and at least you give yourselves a chance if you're any team in the Eastern Conference. OKC versus Celtics, I think it could be Spurs also. They give OKC fits. If any team is going to mess up the OKC versus Celtics series, I think it's going to be the Spurs. Wembanyama, if you saw him that second half against Portland over the weekend, looked sensational. And he's just, I understand he's young. I understand the Spurs are young, but they've got such a talented team that I think that Wemby's confidence in himself and his belief what he can do to carry a team, if there's any team that can overcome OKC, it's them indeed. So let me know your thoughts down below as far as what's going, the aftermath of Game 4. Luka and Smart getting fined, something going on with the playoffs that's not meeting your fancy or that you're interested in. For instance, what Pinty was talking about with Jamal Cain. Did I see that dunk by Orlando's Jamal Cain on Monday? Yes, I did. If you get a chance, if you're on Twitter or social media, type in Jamal Cain slam dunk, and you'll see that it is probably even over the LeBron double clutch. This was a really great because he was dribbling it past all the way from the front court. Yeah, he was going from a long distance, and he did it over one of the best shot blockers in the league in Jalen Duren. And yeah, it was a classic dunk. And he's a very athletic kid who seems to be putting it together at the right time. Um, Pinty's question was, where did the Orlando Magic find Jamal Cain? Do you think that dunk? Yeah, I do think it's a dunk of the playoffs. I don't know about the season, but the playoffs, yes. Why does Rob Pelinka never find that good players like that on cheap contracts? I keep telling you guys, Rob Pelinka is his talent evaluation is up and down indeed, and I'll leave it at that. I don't want to go ahead in an argument on Rob Pelinka today. That's a subject for another day. But yes, Jamal Cain has bounced around on two ways with I think three teams now over 4 seasons, but he has found himself a full-time contract with Orlando, and you see the athleticism. And on the defensive end, he's playing really hard defense, so that's something the Lakers could have used or could use right now as well. So I will leave it at that. But thank you again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. It is Gerald Glassford. Truly want to thank you for being here. Looking forward to tomorrow because I'm excited to announce a new partner for the Fan Arc and Lakers Latest. Looking forward to going ahead and being able to share the news on that. So looking forward to that. But also as well, if you get a chance, please like and subscribe, 5-star review, follow the show, whatever you need to do, you can do to support the show. It is sincerely and greatly appreciated. But I'll be back with another Lakers and playoff update. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts and seeing your thoughts as well. And I come back to you for, of course, Wednesday and get you a preview for Wednesday's Game 5, hopefully finish of the first round series. And I'm looking forward to that as well. So again, for Fan Arc, this is Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching and listening. Truly appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow with more exciting news and information on the Lakers and the NBA playoffs right here at Lakers Latest. Thanks so much for watching and listening, and have yourself a great day.